Friends, about a week back, I was meeting up with an old batchmate of mine. We were meeting after almost 18 to 19 years, and this lady is now the recruitment and hiring head of a large IT and ITS company. In fact, the company is the third or fourth in its domain. So, after the initial conversation, we started talking about what we are doing currently. And since she's in the hiring business for so long, I asked her that tell me what happens to a resume once a candidate presses the apply now button on a naukri.com or a monster.com or a headhunters.com. And what she told me was something very interesting. She said that we get so many resumes at the entry level and at the mid level that it is practically impossible for a human being to sit and scan through these resumes. So, what they have is something called the candidate tracking system, which is a software through which the resumes have to pass first. Now, one of our team members has put in some conditions, some criteria into this software, and only if a resume meets that particular criteria does it come out on the other side to be actually seen by a human being first. So I asked her that is there a possibility that a good candidate with the right skill set could be rejected because it doesn't meet the so-called software criteria? And her answer was a shocking yes. So my question to you, the job seeker out there, that is your resume CTS ready or artificial intelligence ready? Because at the end of the day, this is some sort of artificial intelligence. So I asked her if she could give me some tips on how candidates could make their resumes CTS ready. And she gave me some tips which I would like to share with you. The first point she talked about was formatting. And she talked about 3 or 4 points within formatting. The first she talked about was graphics. She said, don't put any logos, put any photos in your resume because the resume becomes very heavy. These days it is the days of visual resume and people put logos of their companies and logos of even their universities. So chances are that your software would get confused and reject your CV. Point B she talked about was fonts. She said don't use any fancy fonts, restrict to the tried and tested Times New Roman, Verdana, Tahoma or Arial. If you use fancy fonts, chances are that your CV could get rejected by the software. Point C, she talked about special characters. She said when you're trying to emphasize something in the CV, use the standard circular bullet points. Don't use the arrow mark or don't use the square bullet because again that could cause a problem with the software. And point D in format, she talked about jargon. Don't use any jargon because the software is not trained or not fed with those jargons and chances are your CV could get rejected. So this was it. She talked about formatting. Point number 2, she talked about keywords. She said people don't take the pain to go through the JD in detail, and in the software we feed certain keywords, and only if the software is able to recognize the keywords in the resume does it come out on the other side. So take the pain to go through the JD and make sure that your resume has the keywords. Point number 3, she talked about standard headers. Now she said that many people use these fancy headers, but try and avoid that. Try and use plain and simple headers like career summary, work experience, educational background, professional experience. What people try and do is that they try and use this fancy vocabulary and they try and say things like what I have done over the years, what I am known for. Now the software is not designed to catch all that, and again your CV could get rejected. Point number 4, she talked about work experience. Now every job has a certain work experience. So if a particular job requires 5 years of work experience and you have only 4.5, well, your CV could get rejected because software does not recognize it, right? So make sure that your resume has the required work experience for that particular job. And the last thing she mentioned was degrees and certificates. If a particular role requires a particular certification, make sure that that particular certification is mentioned very clearly and don't use jargon. So say train the trainer rather than saying TTT. Say project management rather than saying PM. So friends, these are some of the tips which you can use to make your resume CTS friendly or AI friendly. I hope you found this video useful. Well, please give me a thumbs up if you have liked it. If not, please give me a thumbs down. Always open to feedback. I'll be back soon with one more video.